In the name of the One, my name is Hamid Reza Zulfigarnia. The reason I'm producing this podcast is that, as you may know, in Iran, there are difficult circumstances currently that are leading to almost a widespread depression and mental distress and emotional distress for the masses in my home country. And I don't really need to enter into the details of why this is the case. You only need to visit any of the news websites to be able to figure that out for yourselves. But when I was thinking about the current circumstances and what I could do to help with the situation, I thought to myself, perhaps the best course of action for me would be to produce this podcast that, in my opinion, will help with the process of self development and change. First and foremost for myself, and then for my fellow countrymen. But as I was pondering the production of this content, I thought rather than doing it only in Farsi, I should also do it in English, and I'll get to the details as to why I made that decision. In terms of the content, I'll be focusing on self-development and spiritual contents, mainly books that I've read and I've thoroughly enjoyed. And the idea is that I'll be summarizing these books from my own perspective, and I'll share with you the impact that they have had on me and my life and my journey of self-development. And I will be doing it in both Farsi and English because rather than only making it for my fellow Iranians, I thought if I made the videos also in English, it could hopefully appeal to a wider audience, and it could be found useful by a much larger group of people. And second reason why I decided to do it also in English is that I'm hoping this will be a step towards helping my fellow citizens, fellow countrymen, improve their knowledge of the language, of the English language. If they watch both the videos in Farsi and in English, it should help them hopefully learn a little bit more about the English language. When I started learning English back in Iran, it suddenly opened up new doors for me, and it allowed me to access an endless almost resource of material and contents in the English language. And then I started teaching the language in Iran, and obviously since I moved to the UK, hopefully my English language and my knowledge of it has somewhat improved over the years. So this is in terms of the contents and how I will be offering them. In terms of the medium of communication, I'll be recording these as podcasts, and I will also record the videos and put them on YouTube and on Instagram. But I'm very new to this, so for those of you who are more knowledgeable and experienced in this field, I'll be grateful for any tips or advice as to what platforms are more accessible and perhaps better to use for this sort of content. And I will try my best to make them as accessible as possible. And the last word that I wanted to say is that ultimately the reason I'm doing this is to help facilitate spiritual growth, both for myself and for you, my friend, as well as social growth, individual growth, and ultimately increasing the level of awareness. Awareness in my head is like source of light, is almost like a lantern in one's head that sheds light upon the path before us. So I'm hoping that through this method of communicating with you, I'll be able to spread love and almost satiate the souls of my fellow humans. I have chosen this particular date to basically post my first post for this podcast, 21st of January 2023, because astrologically it's an auspicious day, and I am an astrologer in addition to my day job, and perhaps in my later videos I will get down to the details of why I've chosen this particular date, and if there's interest, I'll be more than happy to share more information on the topic of astrology. With all of that said, it's lovely to be able to speak to you, and I very much look forward to being able to speak to you in my future videos. Bye bye.